Previously on Power Reviews.
I don't know how I came to be here. Same person, different worlds. The Reconnaissance and Rescue Selective Quantum Utility Electronic Eyeline Mark II is operational.
I just finished working on the Squee 3PO.
Squee for me or squee for you?
The trans-dimensional tear from the hallway.
Wireless interdimensional interface.
Voice print acknowledged.
Its primary function is as a navigational device. The wireless interdimensional interface portal alignment device.
What's going on?
Biorhythm marker verified.
It's too dangerous. Look out!
Okay.
Sumerian forest.
You're at Jungle Karma Pizza.
Initiating recall procedure now.
Hey, it worked!
Does anybody want to talk about what just happened to us?
Okay.
And now, Database Rangers Power Review.
Greetings, Ranger fans, and welcome to
Power Morphicon!
Okay.
Kate, do you realize where we are? You're out of the apartment.
I am. I really am.
Well, that's fantastic. Wait, where are the others?
We must have gotten separated when the wireless interdimensional interface portal alignment device was activated prematurely.
How separated?
They could be in this building, or they could be in another dimension.
What?
It's hard to say until I've fully calibrated the device and synchronized the coordinates of the selective quantum utility electronic eye lines.
Well, is there anything I can do to help?
Not really. The calibration and synchronization process is largely automated and may take a while. All we can really do is survey the area to improve our spatial orientation.
Cool. I'll get us con passes.
What?
Hi there. Could we get 2 con passes, please?
Oh, hi, DB. I thought someone had already given them to you. Here you go. Oh, Dr. K, nice.
Thank you.
Let's go check out the rest of the con. So you're saying I shouldn't invite them?
I'm saying you could totally invite them. I'm just saying that Bulk and Skull probably have better things to do than come to our wedding.
Alternate dimension?
Definitely alternate dimension.
Good cosplay.
Great cosplay. So you're saying this is an actual convention of Ranger Series operators?
Well, not exactly.
Nice cosplay.
What's cosplay?
Well, you see...
Oh boy, these guys are cool.
Welcome to the 2014 Power Morphicon! Thank you to Make-A-Wish for making all of this possible.
Chip Lynn, Judd Lynn.
The cast of Saban, Power Rangers Megaforce!
Would you like an autograph?
Who are you?
We're a big fan of your work, big fan. She's a character.
Thank you. Would you, no, no. Security? Help!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, it's Saba! It's Saba! Oh my god! Oh my god!
They're toys. Flynn, how did you get here? Did you fall through an interdimensional rift as well?
Kate!
What?
It's not...
I'm talking to one of my Ranger Series operators here.
That's not him.
What?
Come on, let's move on. So
Come on, you guys, where you been? Your panel starts in 2 minutes.
We have a panel?
Come on, very funny. I know it starts 2 minutes, but you guys asked for this. Come on, let's go.
Okay.
Greetings, Ranger fans?
Salutations!
And welcome to Power Reviews! Oh, I guess we're popular here.
It would appear so.
I think I like this universe.
Where did these scripts come from?
No, you don't understand. We have a panel in there. I'm Jake Brody. I play Database Ranger. Marissa Gallego, Dr. K.
Is this really what we're supposed to review?
I guess so.
All right then, without any further ado, let's take a look at the highly requested Power Rangers Samurai movie special, Clash of the Red Rangers.
In another dimension, where robots are threatening humanity, the RPM Rangers are the last hope to protect their world against evil.
Wait, I thought you said this was an episode of Power Rangers Samurai.
It is. It's their team up with RPM.
When did that happen?
Thanksgiving weekend, 2012.
Why didn't you tell me about this?
I thought you knew! Besides, I was pretty sure you were a hallucination at that time.
Oh.
And those sedatives did not help.
Let's move on.
In the devastated landscape of the RPM universe, Ranger Series Operator... Oh, this is exciting. Ranger Series Operator Scott Truman pilots the Skyrev Megazord in an old-fashioned duel against the evil Professor Cog.
Who?
I have no idea. They both fire at once, but it turns out Professor Cog is packing protection, faking Scott out just long enough to knock the Skyrev Megazord out of commission.
Escape me! I'll track you down!
Even to another dimension? I'm off to make a deal to destroy 2 worlds.
Interdimensional travel. How does he plan to accomplish that?
Maybe we'll find out after the custom opening credits, which look to be splicing in a bunch of battle footage from later in the episode. So let's just fast forward through these spoilers. There we go. Musketeer calls, Army of Moogers, sports car out of nowhere. This is what we have to look forward to, people.
Oh, joy.
So apparently, Professor Cog and the Grinders travel across dimensions via subway car.
That does not make one iota of sense.
Consider your expectations set for the rest of the episode.
Fair enough.
In the city above, the Power Rangers Samurai do battle with the newest Nylok monster, Sharkjaw, who has a tendency to decimate large buildings and loudly proclaim zip, zip, zip.
I'm sure that won't get old fast.
Time for you to zip it, Nylok.
It's around this time that Antonio joins the party, for some reason sounding less Hispanic than usual.
It's time for me to put my own spin on things.
But regrettably, fails to make so much as a dent in the monster's defenses, and the Rangers are only spared due to Sharkjaw's serendipitous dehydration.
Unbeknownst to any of them, this provides the peeping Professor Cog with just the information he needed. A path to the Sanzu River, where Sharkjaw is receiving congratulations from his good work from Master Xandrid, Octoroo, and Serrator, which tells us that this special technically takes place during Super Samurai, just in case the continuity of Samurai's airing schedule wasn't snarled enough.
It appears that the Nylok leaders are busy planning a massive Mooger assault with the newcomer General Gut, so Sharkjaw is rewarded by being spared from having to appear any further in this episode.
Lucky guy.
They are then joined by the enigmatic Professor Cog, who has apparently mastered his interdimensional travel to the point that he's even able to travel through the Nylok exclusive portal cracks, despite being an oversized walking toolbox.
He promises to aid with the invasion by destroying the Rangers in exchange for some Sanzu River water, planning to use it to poison the surviving humans back in RPM world.
During these negotiations, another subway car arrives at the station, bringing with it a new passenger wearing a pair of oddly familiar red boots.
Meanwhile, the Samurai Rangers decide to treat themselves to some ice cream to celebrate their victory, I guess. Remember, kids, if a monster destroys a bunch of buildings and then runs off without you making any notable difference, the Power Rangers still count that as a win. But don't choose veggies over mint chip. That kind of behavior leads to falling cars, almost crushing your noggin.
Let's go.
Nylok with lasers?
What exactly does facepalm mean? That seems appropriate. The Samurai Rangers morph and attack the Grinders, their antiquated weaponry being considered considerably less effective at slashing apart the advanced robotic soldiers than, say, a closing school bus door.
Huh. It says here there's supposed to be some sort of cutaway gag. I wonder what that means.
No idea.
Fortunately, a new ally has arrived to save the day.
Another Samurai Ranger?
Oh, Emily, please don't guess.
In actuality, it is Scott Truman, the Operator Series Red Ranger, leader of the Power Rangers RPM, coming to their aid with his Nitro Blaster and Nitro Sword.
It's a baton.
It's an advanced titanium alloy that emits a debilitating electrostatic charge upon contact. I can arrange a demonstration if you'd like.
No thanks, I'm fine.
You don't need to thank me.
Thank you!
You're welcome.
So Scott decides to really get in gear and whip through the rest of the Grinders with his invisible surfboard attack. Finishing off the rest of the bots before finally introducing himself to the Samurai Rangers.
They call me Ranger Red. They're robots from my dimension. You can call me Scott.
Unfortunately, though, now unmorphed Samurai Rangers remain skeptical.
Ranger Red, you say you come from another dimension, so how did you get here?
But Emily and Mia clearly couldn't care less about that pesky plot business, insisting that they take him home and feed him a home-cooked meal instead. Because I guess they like the cut of his spandex?
That is not spandex!
Sorry.
They escort him back to the Shiba house, briefly admiring Mentor G's motorcycle before taking something of a more critical eye to their home base.
You guys really do live a Spartan life, don't you? There's no TV, no video games.
That's strange. Outside of a pilot simulation, I don't think Scott's ever played a video game in his entire life.
That's not the only odd thing that I've been noticing here.
You guys really need to update your weapons. Now that's how it's done in this century. I wasn't sure if your old school swords could handle them. You guys really are all about being old school. Old school? See you later, old school!
There has definitely been some sort of behavioral modification here. Perhaps there was some sort of trans-dimensional backlash when he crossed over?
Mean that same thing that wiped my memory?
Yes, but yours is a positronic brain. On a human mind...
It just turns him into a jerk.
Are you aware at all that you were this close to cutting off my head?
Are you aware at all that you've just created a meme?
What's a meme?
Never mind. Scott explains that he's traveled to their dimension to track down and stop Professor Cog, conveniently still neglecting to explain how he was able to travel there in the first place.
To answer your question, I can't demorph, because I don't know if I can breathe the air here. In my dimension, we've been forced to live in a domed city, just to avoid the toxic atmosphere the robots have created.
That's irrelevant. Pollution has nothing to do with it. I very clearly explained to him that the reason to remain morphed was because we had no way of determining the chemical composition of the molecular makeup of a foreign atmosphere until I'd had a chance to run tests.
You explained that to him?
I did.
Okay, are you starting to remember something?
I think I may. Let's continue.
Okay.
I still don't trust him. And I don't like the way he looks at you.
He's wearing a helmet. How could you tell?
Did Samurai Yellow just make an intelligent observation?
Everyone seems to be acting out of character today.
Hey, Scott, come and eat.
At least some things remain the same.
Let's see here what we got next.
Rangers are a slippery bunch, so I've called in someone to help you.
Meanwhile, down in the Netherworld, think we're getting Shark Rock back? Wrong! This is freewheeling Sergeant Tread. Meanwhile, at the pier, a bunch of grinders attack Antonio's stunt double, who morphs into the Gold Ranger and fends him off with the light sword, firmly placing this special after its debut in Something Fishy, and further narrowing down where on Earth this thing goes in series continuity. Huzzah! Meanwhile, at the Shiba house...
Would you please stop saying meanwhile and learn new transitional phrases?
I'm sorry, we just changed locations 3 times in 2 minutes, and whoever wrote this script is not very good at it. Anywho, the Rangers are able to neatly dodge having to eat Mia's cooking by the alarms, alerting them to a non-Nylock disturbance at the waterfront, one that Scott is all too happy to take on himself.
He took my bike!
Scott and Dylan have clearly been spending too much time together. He races to the scene, successfully managing to draw the robotic forces away from Samurai Gold.
Is that a new helmet? That wasn't Shady, was it?
What was your first clue?
He dispenses with the remaining grinders, but soon finds himself once again facing the mysterious Professor Cog, before being joined by the rest of the Samurai Rangers.
Sandra are up to, it's not gonna work.
So you're working with the Nylock?
Where are they acquiring this intel? We've yet to see so much as a single Mooger in this battle.
Someone must have stuck their head in a Nylock gap. Wow, there is no way that line doesn't sound terrible.
You're my Cog!
That Jell-O is mine. I don't know what that was supposed to be. Oh, no, they didn't get the cutaway gags. Oh, Professor Cog!
Steps up his assault by incapacitating the Samurai Rangers with his electro-turbines and then unleashing a flurry of hypnobolts upon both Scott and Samurai Red Alpha before activating his ultimate attack, the Fender Vortex.
Is that what I think it is?
Oh, no.
Is that a trans-dimensional tear? Looks like this episode just got a whole lot more interesting.
Indeed. He uses it to send the 5 Samurai Rangers back to my home dimension, propelling the 2 Red Rangers away into the water with a trans-dimensional backlash as it seals. This could be the key I've been looking for. This could be my way home.
All right, let's take this step one step at a time. We're only halfway through the special, and we should probably ixnay on the trans-dimensional tray in front of the audience.
Right. All part of the show, patrons.
Actually, it kind of is.
What?
That whole conversation was in the script.
Who wrote this thing?
Let's see what happens next here. Anywho, let's move on. Cog. What is he up to? Professor Cog? I think he's doing something, but I don't know what. He's planning to destroy all technology, apparently. I should have known. Oh, there he is! He gloats to Sergeant Tread about how his hypnobolts will force the 2 Red Rangers to destroy one another, as Scott and Jaden fish themselves out of the harbor. And I have to say, it can't be easy swimming around in self-assembling nanofiber formed with an intracellular memory alloy. It looks soggy.
Quite. Now, although the seeds of mistrust have definitely been sown, the 2 teamless leaders are able to put their differences aside long enough for Scott to reassure Samurai Red Alpha that his team is in good hands. The best, if I do say so myself.
While this is going on, Xandrid continues to plan his invasion with General Gut, as Professor Cog enacts his plan to transport Sanzu River water back to the RPM universe. And if I recall correctly, Sanzu River water tends to set people on fire, so this is not a good thing. That night, Jaden and Scott return to the Shiba house, bickering like an old married couple.
Where's the rest of the team?
Sucked through a vortex. Probably to where this guy came from.
Yeah, well, it's their fault. They got in the way.
No, they saved us!
Great comeback.
The next morning, Samurai Red Alpha and his mentor detect the massive army of Moogers that have gathered in a nearby quarry and leave to tend them, summoning a mystical equine and leaving Scott to procure alternate methods of transportation.
Our thoughts exactly.
Scott quickly catches up to Samurai Red Alpha, who just as quickly issues a challenge in return.
You've got to be kidding me.
He's not. This is entirely pointless.
Plus, for 2 people who tend to travel almost instantly and are supposed to be in a big hurry, this takes a surprisingly long amount of time.
And is entirely pointless.
But at least they do get there eventually, with Jaden cutting through the trees to score a win and be the first to take a swing at the Mooger armies, which Scott is none too happy about.
This is my fight. That means mine alone.
Unfortunately, despite having plenty of opponents to go around, this argument quickly escalates, segueing immediately into the eponymous Clash of the Red Rangers.
But you have to admit, no matter how clumsy the setup, this is actually
Now who's the fast one?
quite a well-choreographed battle, as the 2 go head-to-head with all they have. And this extended sequence eventually comes to a close with a double KO.
Not a scratch.
What?
Turns out it was all for show, with the 2 Reds each wearing a special shield to protect them from the other's final attack.
Thanks for teaching a fake-out trick to me.
What about the rest of their injuries?
No idea. But apparently, G had spotted Professor Cog's trick right away, cured them with his own special symbol power, and come up with a plan to stage the whole thing.
To what purpose?
No idea.
I mean, wouldn't spending all their energy fighting one another just provide the enemies with a greater advantage?
Probably.
Then why the ruse?
Because it's called Clash of the Red Rangers, and that's apparently all the reason they need. Also, transdimensional backlash.
Oh, well, that explains it.
So with that randomness out of the way, we get into some fresh randomness with a bunch of grinders turning into bikes for the Moogers to ride. Except for that one. He rides piggyback.
Now I know why they say don't play in traffic.
I feel like that proverb was already self-explanatory.
Retaliation, he uses his symbol power to summon
an automobile? I must admit that was unexpected. They utilized their new advantage to quickly dispose of the Moogers and Grinders and then challenged the Nylock Sergeant Tread to a game of chicken. He blinks.
Next up to bat is Professor Cog, but this time, Jaden's got a little trick up his sleeve. Well, his sleeveless jacket, that is.
One use only, from Mentor.
Thanks! Shark attack mode! Super mode!
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen. This right here was our first on-screen appearance of both Shark Mode and Super Samurai Mode. After months and months of waiting for them to unlock the black box, we totally skipped right past its proper introduction to reveal it here, alongside a second power-up that is receiving its reveal on a Ranger that's not even part of the same team. Time and causality have no meaning.
Oh, please, there's a very big difference between temporal distortion and illogical scheduling.
How about the fact that the Shark Disc is about to receive its first activation all over again in another 6 minutes?
Temporal distortion it is.
Anywho, the two powered-up Red Rangers take on Professor Cog with some sort of crazy double-team attack when suddenly a rift opens up in the sky above their heads, and the 5 missing Samurai Rangers leap out to join the party.
It took us a while to reverse the vortex.
Scott, your team says hi.
You know, speaking as someone who has a little bit of experience being trapped in another dimension, some more information on exactly what happened over there, how they reversed the vortex, and why they happened to show up at that exact spot would be pretty nice to know.
Oh, that last part is simple. I just performed a frequency match on Scott's selective quantum utility electronic eye line.
What?
I mean, it wasn't easy by any stretch of the imagination, but I did do it. It was me.
Okay, are you all right?
Can we talk about this later?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Now reunited, the 7 Rangers join forces to hack and slash up Sergeant Tread and Professor Cog, finishing them both off once and for all.
Now, what happened to the second life for the Nylock?
Oh, none for him.
Well, at least it's over with.
Oh no, we've still got like a quarter of this thing left to go.
What?
Yeah, Jaden and Scott power back down to their regular forms and turn their sights on the giant Mooger army on the other side of the quarry that has been patiently waiting for them to finish up.
How courteous.
So the Samurai Rangers use their symbol power to summon 5 new war horses.
I'm not really sure how I feel comfortable with the ethical ramifications of this equine sorcery.
I try not to think about it. They race to face off against the Mooger army, who are doing their best to blacken the sky with their arrows, while Scott and Antonio drive around the sports car, deliberately not sharing any more action scenes with their fellow Rangers. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think the team-ups were supposed to end with a collaborative climactic battle? That's cute.
Samurai Red Alpha also separates himself from his teammates, choosing to take on General Gut himself. The two duel, but when his spin sword and fire smasher prove ineffective, the Red Samurai decides to activate a brand new power disc, which has already been introduced 6 minutes prior as one-time only use.
Told you it was coming.
Meet the Shark Sword.
He then further subverts the supposedly collaborative intent of the episode by using the extensive range of all new weapons to dispose of all the remaining Moogers before allowing his teammates to join him for the destruction of General Gut.
Ouch.
It's not over.
Of course
it's not.
Unlike Sergeant Tread, the General does return as a Mega Monster, so the Samurai Rangers summon their Battlewing Megazord, slashing apart the monster to reveal... Oh, Bioden's beard.
That is so not okay.
I thought you told me this was a children's show in this dimension.
Tell me I'm not great now.
You're not great.
There's nothing great about that. So to avoid lingering on this moment any longer, let's fly right through. Gut attacks.
We lost 3 swords.
Jaden suddenly remembers that he's holding the Shark Sword.
Shark Sword. Disengage.
Which bites off Gut's...
Super Servant.
Sure, let's call it that. Before combining with the Megazord...
Samurai Shark Megazord, on for battle.
And defeating General Gut once and for all.
Samurai Rangers, victory is ours.
All the while, Scott and Antonio sit things out, working to repair the damaged sports car.
You mean the magic sports car that didn't exist 15 minutes ago?
Yep.
Check in the trunk for a torque wrench. That is if you don't want us to have to walk home.
Scott, you stole a motorcycle and all your friends have magic horses. I don't think transportation is that big a priority.
I hate transdimensional backlash. Master Sandred bemoans his defeat at the hands of the Rangers, and the Rangers themselves bid a farewell to Scott at the mysterious train station.
Say hi to your team for us.
They're really not going to explain that thing, are they?
It appears that they're far more interested in the interpersonal relations than the mechanics of the transdimensional transport.
I do have eyes on her, you know. I see the way she looks at you.
And with that, Scott rides away, with the Rangers heading on home, and with Mike celebrating Emily's reciprocated feelings by running up behind her and punching her in the back of the head, I think. And that's the end of our episode. So, what did we think of it? Well, that was absolutely ridiculous. Wasn't that ridiculous? Seriously, though, that does stand as one of the most absurd team-ups of all time, ranking right up there with our last Sentai-heavy interdimensional crossover in Trakeena's Revenge. The big difference here is that despite the obvious flaws of, there's no such thing as monsters, that episode at least managed to score all 5 members of the core cast and keep the Sentai footage down to just the Versus movie. Here, it is painfully obvious just how much they had to tap dance around their limitations, the most glaring one being the complete lack of a physical presence by any RPM cast members. Now, I usually don't like to get too much into the behind-the-scenes stuff here, generally preferring to let the episodes speak for themselves, but this is one where it kind of feels necessary since it so clearly shaped the production. The reasons behind using Scott's and only Scott's voice for this team-up are varied and largely speculative, but it likely came down to a combination of costs, guild issues, and scheduling conflicts. Now, once this limit had been put in place, that put a limit on how much footage that could be used from Shinkenger vs. Goanju Genmaku Bang, since they wouldn't be able to use the other RPM Rangers, and increase their reliance on Samurai Sentai Shinkenger the movie, The Fateful War, a completely unrelated summer movie. All very shiny, but doesn't make a whole lot of sense when put together. Toss in the fact that Steven Skyler was unavailable to portray the role of Antonio, and you have a massive mess of a starting point. Now, does this excuse all the problems? Of course not. Because none of that affects how they went about explaining things, like why the Red Rangers dueled, how Scott traveled between universes, or why a 15-minute-old sports car takes priority over a giant monster battle. Overall, this special can really only be enjoyed if you don't take it at all seriously, and just embrace the absurdity of a motorcycle racing a horse, Rangers fighting for no reason, sports cars and power-ups popping up out of nowhere, and a giant fanged serpent that leaps forth from a monster's no-no spot. Otherwise, the litany of plot and character issues will have you wishing that you had spent this special hearing the story of what happened on the other side of the vortex, where Scott's team said hi.
My team.
Oh, sorry. Your team.
No, I think I remember what happened on the other side. It was starting to already after
After you what?
I'll explain later.
No, you explain now. Don't worry about them. As far as they know, they're still part of a show. They think this is part of a show that I assume everyone here has been a loyal viewer of.
Fine. I think I know how this all got started. All of it. You see, last night,
Synchronization complete.
It's done. The wireless interdimensional interface portal alignment device is synchronized with the selective quantum utility electronic eye line. It's time to go.
Now? Can't we stay a bit longer? There's a bunch more panels I want to see, and whoever wrote this script...
If we don't go now, we might not get another chance.
Okay, sorry guys, gotta run, but till next time, farewell Ranger fans, and let the power protect you. Oh God. There was some sort of mix-up with, I don't know, there were some cosplayers in here, I think. Yeah, I'm Jake, this is Marissa. There was a little misunderstanding with the staff, but don't worry. We worked it out. Anyway, we were really hoping to do a live performance of the show for everyone, but it looks like we won't have time for that. So I'm just going to open up things to questions to the audience, okay?